going on, everybody? This is another episode of Sports Plus Life. How's everybody doing today? Hey. All right, now let's cut that music off. I said let's cut it off. All right, I am your host, Mr. Brandon Brevon Towns, and I'm coming to you on my sports podcast, again with my show called Sports Plus Life. And it is where we discuss the hot topics in sports as best as we can. And, of course, we are unedited. I ain't got no damn sponsors. Ain't nobody write me no damn check. So I say what I want. But I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Today is Thursday, November 29th, 2018. It is just before Friday, and I am just so happy the weekend is here. A lot to cover, a lot to talk about, a lot to review, and a lot to look forward to. And again, if you guys are new, again, I'm thankful for everybody who listens, all 10 to 15 people who actually listen to my podcast. God bless you, because if I reach one, my job is done. All right, because sometimes all it takes is one. But if you are a new listener, go ahead and click that subscribe button there on YouTube. And if you have any comments to leave, and if you want to give shout-outs, give shout-outs. If you want to defer on an opinion or agree, leave your comments. Even if you want to throw salt in the game, go ahead and leave your comments. I'll look at them. I'll respond to them if it is necessary. Again, I am Brandon Brevon Towns, and you can follow me at Brevon Towns on YouTube. And I also, again, don't just do sports talk. I do singing. I sing, rap, produce, songwrite, all of that good old stuff. But today, we have a lot of stuff to cover. We do. We have got, we're going to review the NFL's Week 12 games. We're going to get into the Carolina Panthers. We got to talk about Aaron Rodgers. We got to talk about Baker Mayfield. So guess what, people? Let's get to it. All right. So let's go over the rest of Week 12. The last time you guys heard from me, it was the day after Thanksgiving, and we just had those 3 Thanksgiving games, and then proceeded with the rest of the football calendar in Week 12. Now, what we have here, and I will just go over the notable games because there are a few games where really, I mean, who cares? Who cared before the game? Who cared during the game? And who the hell cared after the game? So anyway, what I will say about I will say this. Buffalo beat Jacksonville, another who cares game, but Leonard Fournette, come on, man. You know, it is clear that Jacksonville is a different team when Leonard Fournette is on the football field. He is a big-time running back when he can stay healthy. That seems to be a problem. He is a big-time running back, and he needs to stay on the field. When he was on the field, Jacksonville was rolling, about to take the lead, and then you get into a little scuffle, and you go and you try to two-piece Shaq Lawson. Get thrown out of the game. Jacksonville loses, you get suspended, and actually try to appeal your suspension like they're going to say, oh, no, you ain't throw them punches. We ain't see that. We ain't see you throw them punches with your bare fist to a dude with a helmet on. Genius. So, so Leonard Fournette, you a great back, man, but, you know, you got to handle your business better than that. The Patriots had kind of a dogfight against the Jets. They pulled away in the fourth quarter. They won 27-13. Darnold was not starting for the Jets. It was Josh McCown. So Tom Brady beat out Josh McCown in the Senior Bowl. The Patriots now go to 8-3. The Philadelphia Eagles, to me, pretty much kept their hopes of a division title and a chance to defend their Super Bowl title alive. They struggled. They looked ugly early. Saquon Barkley was running all over them for the New York Giants. But the Eagles topped that with the Giants' seemingly unusual play calling, which is getting more familiar and familiar. They came back to win 25-22. and at Philadelphia, which sets up this coming up Monday night, a showdown between them and the Washington Redskins. And we'll get into what could be the importance of that game a little later on. Buccaneers 49ers, who gives a shit? In Charlotte. No, you know what? I'll skip that for now because that's gonna be a good lead in. The Baltimore Ravens, again, like I said last week, the Lamar Jackson era is here, people. The Lamar Jackson era is here. The only thing that he needs to do is just get a little bit more accurate on throwing the ball. But, dude, they beat the Raiders. And it's the Raiders. I mean, they suck.
You suck.
I mean, they suck. And top that with a defensive touchdown by Terrell Suggs off an interception. They won 34-17, so they keep their spot in. They right now have the last wild card spot at 6-5. The Chargers destroyed the Cardinals like they were supposed to, but Melvin Gordon is hurt. Melvin Gordon has a sprained MCL. That's big. That's big. That is really, really big because you are talking about. And the Chargers have a huge Sunday night game against the Steelers. I don't give a damn if it's in California or if it's in Pittsburgh. You lose Melvin Gordon, you're losing one of the top 5 really special backs in the NFL. I mean, there's only 5 of them. There's only 5 of them. I mean, Todd Gurley, Ezekiel Elliott, Saquon Barkley, Kareem Hunt, Melvin Gordon, man. I mean, those are do-it-all backs, and really, Zeke to me more of the pure runner. But when you talk about that versatile running back, he's right up there. So that should be interesting. The Colts came from behind to beat the Dolphins. The Dolphins were up 24-14 in the fourth quarter, and that's so Miami to blow that shit. That is so Miami. I mean, they just, this is what Miami does when you have any expectations of them. They set you up, and then never fails. Never fails. Andrew Luck, though, is balling. Boy is back. Boy is back. Boy is back. The Denver Broncos, my Broncos, we beat the Steelers. We beat the Steelers at Mile High. A dramatic game, dramatic finish. We won 24-17. Ben Roethlisberger, we had Denver forced 3 turnovers, and Ben Roethlisberger threw an interception in the end zone with just a little over a minute to play. So Denver keeps its slim playoff chances alive, and we're still only a game out. How about that? I mean, despite Case Keenum.
You suck.
You suck. The only way I will say that you don't suck is if we somehow make the playoffs. But until then,
you suck.
You suck. Glad we won, though. Thanks for that one. Let's see. The Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers went to Minnesota and lost 24-17 to the Vikings. The Vikings improved to 6-4. And Green Bay falls to 4-6-1. The Vikings are 6-4-1. Green Bay is 4-6-1. A little bit of foreshadowing because I got some things to say about Aaron Rodgers. I do. Nothing negative, but I mean, just some people need to just really do a good compare and contrast. And some people honestly need to pump the brakes. Monday Night Football this past Monday night, the Houston Texans. Let me tell you something. Like I was saying about the Chicago Bears last week, Houston Texans are going to be a problem. The Houston Texans are going to be a problem. They have just won their 8th straight game. Started the season 0-3. Now they are 8-3. And with that Steelers loss, they jumped the Steelers by winning, which puts Pittsburgh into the 4th playoff spot, moves Houston up to 8-3, tied with the Patriots, who are 8-3. Gives a fuck. Deshaun Watson is the truth, man. That defense is no joke. That defense is no joke whatsoever. And I know it's not really showing much now, but that pickup of Demaryius Thomas from my Broncos, the pickup of Demaryius Thomas is going to be profitable. It definitely will be because dude's a gamer. You know, he's a future Hall of Fame receiver. That's right, I said it. Future Hall of Fame receiver. He should be. He is in my book, damn it. This is my show. He's a future Hall of Fame receiver who's a Super Bowl champion. And if you want to debate and say, well, how is Demaryius Thomas? What numbers have Demaryius Thomas? Okay. You know, Demaryius Thomas, since 2012, has more 1,000-yard receiving seasons than any receiver in the NFL. But I'm sure you already knew that. Any receiver. Not Julio Jones, not Antonio Brown, not Odell Beckham, when he ain't been in the league long enough, but Demaryius Thomas. I remember in 2014 when people used to ask the question, or 2013, would you rather have Demaryius Thomas or Dez Bryant? Now, mind you, this is when Dez Bryant was at the top of his game, but I was like, Demaryius Thomas, not even close. Because in those seasons, 2012 to 2015, 1,400 yards, 1,400 yards, 1,600 yards, 1,300 yards. And even after Peyton Manning left, another 1,000 yards and a partridge and a fucking pear tree since it's Christmas time. So I rest my case. All right. Now, I'm going to get back to this game now. Carolina Panthers versus the Seattle Seahawks. Okay. Which was a very good, very competitive game. But a game that you kind of wondered, how did the Panthers lose? I said this last week, come the end of the season, Carolina will be fighting for their playoff lives. With their loss, they are now out of the wild card race, or they're now out of their wild card spot. Everybody was hooping and hollering when Carolina was 6-2. They have lost 3 straight. Christian McCaffrey is balling. He put on a show. Over 100 rushing yards, over 100 receiving yards. My man's balled out. And you know what? He did all that for nothing. And I tell you why. One, people need to honestly recognize what a great quarterback Russell Wilson is. Russell Wilson is a damn good quarterback. He's a Super Bowl champion. And he doesn't nearly get the respect that he deserves. Seattle will always be formidable and will always be in it as long as they have number 3 at the helm. Dude just wins. But as for Carolina, this is starting to become a all too familiar picture with the Carolina Panthers. Yeah, let me take about 5 minutes to discuss this. You know, a lot of people want to throw the blame on Cam Newton. I'm not doing that. It's their defense. Everybody says that Carolina's defense is this and they're so formidable, and Carolina and Cam with that defense, and that defense can shut you down. No, they don't. No, they do not. Peaks and valleys. If Carolina has a 28-point lead in the second quarter, I guarantee you that game is coming down to the wire. Their defense does not close the door. They do not shut shit down, especially when it matters the most. Yeah, Kuechly is great. Thomas Davis is great. But their secondary has been trash ever since Josh Norman left. They do not shut the door on teams. Okay? They should have beaten on 4th and 3. You mean to tell Russell Wilson throws up, I'm not going to say it's a jump ball, but on 4th and 3, the defender is right there and he can't even turn his head. And that could have pretty much sealed up the ball game. Think about it, against Tampa Bay earlier in the season. They were up 35-7 on Ryan Fitzpatrick. And I know that he's put up a lot of yards with that defense. With that offense, with those weapons, Mike Evans and Deshaun Jackson and O.J. Howard. But you're at home. You're up 28 points. And you can't shut the door. They don't. This has been a trend of theirs for the last few years, even their Super Bowl season. Their defense is not what it's cracked up to be. It just isn't. And people need to stop lying to themselves and to the American public about Carolina's defense is so stout, because it ain't. It's not. Peaks and valleys, people. The other teams find their way back. They find their way back against Carolina. They don't shut shit down. You know, like I said, Kuechly's good. Davis is good. No, Kuechly's great. Okay, but when it comes to total defense, when it comes to stopping teams when it matters the most, they don't do it, man. They don't do it. I mean, Carolina has the 14th ranked defense. Okay, middle of the pack. Okay, so what? I mean, not bad, but not bad, but not great. Not bad, but not good. 14th ranked defense. I mean, the way people talk about them, you'd swear out that they were top 5. They ain't even top 10. You know, so let's be real now. Let's keep it real. Like they say, keep it real. That's what I'm doing. I'm keeping it real. You know, and like I said, they particularly struggle against the pass. They're 22nd in the league in pass defense. 22nd. Now, I mean, that's that. You know, that, like I said, that's not going to be seen as god awful, but it ain't good. And what I've noticed is they're bad when it matters most. When the game's on the line, that's when they mess up. So it's gonna be it's gonna be a problem. You know, it's gonna be a problem with Cam and those boys making the playoffs. Because honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they missed it. Because now you're on the outside looking in, because and Seattle, even with their win, they're still on the outside looking in, because the wild card spots right now are Minnesota and Washington. Of course, Washington after tonight, I firmly believe, will be back as the division leader for the time being. So yeah, and another team that I would say they're not going to make it is the Green Bay Packers. Again, like I said, they lost to the Minnesota Vikings. They lost 24-17, and they're 4-6-1. And, you know, Aaron Rodgers is trying to say all the right things. And, yeah, we've ran the table before and, you know, yada, yada, yada. Look, man, I watch sports shows all the time. My favorite show is First Take and then Undisputed. I watch The Herd. I watch Around the Horn, Pardon the Interruption. I watch shows on FS1. And I hear so many people say how great Aaron Rodgers is. And I'm not going to sit here and say that he's not great. But let's do some compare and contrast. Will you? Okay, let's do a bit of compare and contrast. I will ask this question, and I really wish I was live so I could, you know, get a couple phone calls to get an answer. What is the big difference between Aaron Rodgers at this point in his career and Brett Favre? You know, now the Packers are blessed, truly blessed to say that they have had 2 quarterbacks over the last 26 years. 2 quarterbacks. That is amazing. And of those 2 quarterbacks, each of them have 1 Super Bowl. And it was when they were in their 20s. So, I repeat the question. At this point in Aaron Rodgers' career, what is the difference between him and Brett Favre? I don't see none. You know, people talk about how he's accurate and he can do things that, you know, that they've never seen a football player do. You know, Max Kellerman says that he's the greatest football player ever. Stephen A. Smith says that he is, you know, pretty much Jesus in cleats and pads. But Aaron Rodgers is 34 years old. Brett Favre at 34 years old was Around the same. I mean, honestly, let's do all right. Compare and contrast. Aaron Rodgers is 34 years old. He's won 2 MVPs. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been to 3 NFC championship games. Okay. I mean, that's a pretty good resume. I mean, that's a good resume, especially, you throw in a Super Bowl championship, it's good. Brett Favre, at the age of 34 years old. I'm not looking at no computer. I'm not looking at no tablet. This is all muscle memory because this is what I do. This is what the fuck I do. Brett Favre at 34 years old. 1 Super Bowl championship. 2 Super Bowl appearances. 3 league MVPs. And 3 NFC championship games. So, to me, and when I said Aaron Rodgers has 1 Super Bowl victory, that's his only Super Bowl appearance, which was all the way back in 2010. Brett Favre went to Super Bowl back-to-back years. Won 1, lost 1, and lost it to Denver. Yay. Yeah. But anyway, back to the point. So if you listen to what I just said in regards to those compare and contrast, actually, you really should give the nod to Brett Favre just by a wee little bit. He's won more league MVPs. At this point, he had won more league MVPs. He had been to more Super Bowls, 1 more Super Bowl. And around the age of 34, the Packers were maybe like a 10-win team, maybe. Maybe. In the late 90s, early 2000s, he missed the playoffs a couple of times, around this age range that Aaron Rodgers is at now. So what is the difference, Packer fans, sports critics? What is the real big difference? And then on top of that puts the cherry on the sundae, both of them are divas. Both of them are divas. So you tell me, what is the difference between Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers right now? Because I don't see it. I don't see it at all. And with that being said, Aaron Rodgers deserved every penny that he got. He deserved every penny that Green Bay paid him. Unfortunately, when you break the bank, there's not much bank for the other parts that you need. Jimmy Graham is not New Orleans Jimmy Graham anymore. He's not. He's not Drew Brees' Jimmy Graham. Hell, he ain't even Russell Wilson's Jimmy Graham right now. Now, Devontae Adams is a beast. He's a beast. He is. He's proven that he is a number 1 receiver. He's proven worthy of his contract. Randall Cobb can't stay healthy. I like the kid Aaron Jones. They just don't use him enough. So with that being said, Aaron Rodgers, you're great. You're great. But stand in that situation that you're in, you're not going to be no better than Favre was. And I'm pretty sure, you may not say it public, but I'm pretty sure that gnaws at you. Especially the way that Brett Favre acted when they were ready to put you as a starting quarterback all those years ago. So this is my suggestion, Aaron Rodgers. I know you ain't listening, but I hope somebody's listening that'll make you listen, I guess. Leave Green Bay and come to Denver. Come to Denver. Come to the Broncos. You can do it. You can do it. Hell, John Elway paid Peyton Manning $95 million, and that was after 4 neck surgeries. And he paid him every penny of that $95 million for 4 years. Okay? And we had 2 Super Bowl appearances in the Super Bowl title. And what? You're 34 years old. Peyton Manning was 36. He's 36. So come on now. Leave Green Bay. Come to the Mile High City. John Elway, if you're listening, you owe us. You owe us after these last 2.5 years of BS that you put us through at the quarterback position, wasting our legendary defense, even though, yes, we caught a Super Bowl title off of it, but it could have been more. It could have been more. I'm greedy. I'm a greedy fan. I'm not a content fan. Yeah, we won one. We can chill for the next 5 years. That ain't me. God damn it. I'm greedy. I'm a greedy fan. And you have wasted some of Von Miller's best years. You trade Aqib Talib for what? I understand kind of letting go of TJ Ward because Justin Simmons is nice. But you're wasting. We're not that defense from 3 years ago, but we are still a damn good defense. So you put that and you bring in a guy like Aaron Rodgers to go with Philip Lindsay, who was a diamond in the rough. That boy good. That boy good. That boy real good. Philip Lindsay can play. I like Freeman too. I like that 1-2 punch with Emmanuel Sanders. And maybe if you bring in a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, it can actually validate you trading away Demaryius Thomas so Cortland Sutton can get more reps. Because I ain't seen it since Demaryius has left.
You suck.
I haven't. You could have traded you could have traded Cortland Sutton. Or you could have traded Patrick or somebody else. But you had to trade away the legendary Bronco. Yeah, I'm still pissed about that. Glad Demaryius is in a good situation with Houston. Because when I heard that he was possibly going to the Patriots, I was like, oh, no. Excuse me while I sip some orange soda. But yes, this is my campaign now. Aaron Rodgers for Denver, 2019. And guess who can be his backup? Case Keenum.
You suck.
He can be the backup. Because that's all he really is. He's a backup. He ain't a starter. He's a backup.
You suck.
Get us to the playoffs, Keenum. I'll leave you alone.
You suck.
But that's what it is for right now.
You suck.
And even if we get to the playoffs, I still want Aaron Rodgers. Hell, Tebow got us to the playoffs, and the next year who we had? We had Peyton Manning. So, but yes, don't see the difference much in Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre, to be honest with you. So I'll leave that. So that's where I'm going to leave that topic. There was another early game Sunday that's kind of caught the attention of everybody, is the way Cleveland destroyed Cincinnati. Now, as you sports fans know, a couple weeks ago, the coach, Cleveland's coach, Hugh Jackson, was fired by Cleveland, along with offensive coordinator Todd Haley. He was fired, and I say maybe a little over a week later, he was given a job by the Cincinnati Bengals. And I'm going to connect these dots. I'm just explaining the situation. So once Cleveland and Cincinnati played, Baker Mayfield showed his ass. I mean, he balled out. They were up 28-7 after the first half. And when the game was over, Hugh Jackson went to give him a congratulatory handshake and hug. And Baker Mayfield gave him a half-hearted handshake and just and shrugged at him after that. No hug, like, don't touch me, bitch. And just, wow, stiff arm. Heisman that hoe. And then said in the locker room, I don't like, you were the coach in this locker room. You were trying to get us to buy into your scheme, and now you're in the opposing locker room for a team we have to play twice a year. I don't like that. Dude. Okay. For one, I like Baker Mayfield. I think the franchise of the Cleveland Browns franchise has hope. They have hope. They are definitely trending north. They have made some good draft picks on the defensive side, and getting Baker Mayfield was absolutely wonderful. But my man, how you're going to sit here and act like Hugh Jackson quit and decided to go over to the Bengals? He got fired. And yeah, he could have sat at home and collected a check from the Browns for the next couple years to do nothing. But if you want to work, that doesn't mean that if you want to work, who the hell cares who it's for? And I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you why Baker Mayfield sounds like a flaming hypocrite when he's coming out of his mouth. Okay, you're mad that you weren't starting game one against the regular season. I'd rather you just came out and said that shit rather than all of this other nonsense, which is really you dancing around the real point. For one, Hugh Jackson has a history with the Cincinnati Bengals. This is his third different stint on the coaching staff of the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay? He was a coach from 04 to 06. Okay? Then he bounced around. He was a coach from 04 to 06. Went to the Raiders, was a coordinator and D-backs coach there before landing the head coaching job. And once he got fired from the Raiders, where'd he go back to? Who hired him again? Cincinnati. So he's with Cincinnati a couple of years, then gets a head coaching job at Cleveland. So once Cleveland fires him, who offers him a job? Cincinnati. So it's clear that Marvin Lewis is his friend. There is a friendly relationship there. He's just have you ever been to a job and you were moving on to another job, but you were so cool with the boss, where the boss was like, you'll always have a job with me. Whenever you need a job, I got you. That's all that is. This ain't no trying to be fake or going to a team in the division. And Baker Mayfield looks like a flaming hypocrite because he started his college career at Texas Tech in the Big 12, transferred to Oklahoma, which is in the Big 12, rival school. He didn't get kicked off the team. He voluntarily left. So, dude, you're a good quarterback. Shut the hell up on that subject. You won the game. You trashed them on the football field. Let it go. You weren't the starting quarterback week 1. You're the starting quarterback now. You've been the starting quarterback since week 3. Let it go, bro. Let it go. Because if you look at the facts and did your homework, then you'd have known that there's history there between Hugh Jackson and the Cincinnati Bengals. Hell, he's probably going to be the next coach of the Bengals. All jokes aside, he's probably going to be the next head coach of the Bengals. And when you do as terrible as in Cleveland as Hugh Jackson did in Cleveland, for somebody to offer you a job, you take that shit. You take that shit. Because, yeah, you could have got paid from Cleveland the next couple of years, but what you going to do when them checks stop coming? Because don't nobody want a coach that's only won 3 games in 3 years. What you going to do then? So come on now. Baker Mayfield, yeah, dude. Let it go, bro. Let it go, bro. Just keep playing football. The Browns have won back-to-back games for the first time since dinosaurs walked the earth. And you guys are trending upward. So just let it go. Well, I hope, again, that everybody who is listening to this is enjoying this. Over the last couple of days on my YouTube page, I have dropped a couple of tracks that I did that I've done within the past year. And because I haven't uploaded anything to YouTube in a while. So I'm just kind of getting reacquainted. So again, if you are a first-time listener, don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button and follow your boy, because I'm going to be very active. I'm going to be very active on the YouTube network. And like I said, I can do this all day. I can do this all day. I ain't lying. I ain't BSing. Now, to my next subject. All right. It is Thursday night. We have a big game. Well, let's put it this way. It's only big because of who's playing and where it's at. Because, it's something that kind of irritates me is that this much hype wasn't made when the Rams and the Saints played. This much hype wasn't even made when the Chiefs and the Rams played. But because the 10-1 Saints are playing the 6-5 Cowboys, oh, this is the game of the year. Bullshit. Now, it is a big game because it has such playoff implications. Now, the game is in Dallas. The Cowboys have won 3 in a row. In a schedule, during a part of their schedule where I thought they would lose every game, with the exception of maybe the Redskin game, because the Redskin season has... Yeah. So, anyway, the Saints, they can't, Dallas has a much improved defense, yada, yada, yada. Amari Cooper, yeah. Jerry Jones comparing him to Michael Irvin should be a slap in Michael Irvin's face. But whatever, this Jerry, he loves attention. He's a media, he's a media, you know what. But last week I said, the Saints were gonna, kick the shit out the Cowboys, and I was thinking, they are gonna be hyped up. Thursday night, nationally televised game. Both teams had a week off, a full week, because both teams played on Thanksgiving, so it's a level playing field. But then I started hearing DeMarcus Lawrence talking shit about, you hit a you-know-what in the mouth, and you choke him out, and, I hear DeMarcus Lawrence talking shit. And I'm like, ooh, nigga. I'm like, boy, you idiot. You done messed around and pissed off the best team in football who can't stop winning because they're in a race for the number 1 seed with the Rams. I'm like, oh, boy. Oh, damn. Y'all done given Drew Brees a reason. Not that he ain't already need one. You done gave Kamara and Ingram and Michael Thomas a reason. You done gave Lattimore and Cam Jordan. Ooh, and hoo. Boy, I hope they beat y'all ass. And that's for Cowboy fans around their arrogant ass world. I hope the Saints beat the living shit out of the Cowboys. I do. I hope they put 60 up on them, you arrogant asshole. I do. I really do. When you punch her, yeah, you supposed to be confident, but you gonna act like you don't have no respect for a team that hasn't lost since week 1? And you on a 3-game winning streak in the most pathetic division in football, and you talking shit?
You suck.
Man, shut up. But I'm so glad that the shit talking came from DeMarcus Lawrence. I'm so glad, because when the Saints go out there and put up 40, we gonna turn around and look at you, bro. We gonna turn right around and look at you. And I hope that Dak Prescott has a Wesley Snipes moment on your ass.
If I was what? Say it again.
Huh. Michael Thomas and them boys heard what DeMarcus Lawrence said, and they was like, what? Bitch. Man, I'm telling you, listen, the Saints are on a mission. Now, if the Cowboys win tonight, which they won't, I will come back here and I will apologize. I will swallow my pride and apologize. But I just woke up, and the reality of the situation is I hope they kick y'all ass. Anyway, next topic. Now, after the Cowboys get their ass kicked, it's going to have quite a profound effect on the wildcard race. Now, right now, wildcard race sits as follows. In the NFC, and I'll start with the NFC since I'm basing it off that game. In the NFC, you have the Saints at number 1, the Rams at number 1. The Saints number 1 based on the tiebreaker from the head-to-head matchup with the Rams. Okay? We have the Chicago Bears, who are a problem, 8-3. And then we have the Dallas Cowboys because they just beat the Redskins. Mistakes happen. That's a mistake that'll get corrected. And then on the wild card side, you have the Minnesota Vikings and the Washington Redskins. On the outside looking in are the Seahawks, Panthers, and Eagles. Those are the teams I'm giving the best chance to. I could see Atlanta being a dark horse, but I'm going to stick with what I said last week. Think they're done. So basically what this means to me is once the Saints beat the Cowboys, all that means is that the NFC East will go 3 straight weeks with having could go win 3 straight weeks with having games with first place on the line. Because Cowboys and Redskins played Thanksgiving. Okay? Cowboys will lose tonight. Then the Redskins and Eagles play Monday night. That'll be first place. So then the Cowboys and Eagles will play again. So, it just adds unnecessary attention to a sorry division. But I understand why. The NFC East is the most glamorous division in football because they have the most Lombardi trophies amongst the teams in the division. Cowboys have 5, Giants have 4, Redskins have 3, Eagles have 1. So what is that? 13 Super Bowl trophies? 5, 9, 13 Super Bowls amongst those teams. No other division is close. So that's why they get all the attention they get. Because I'm sorry, really, the Cowboys do not deserve all the attention they can get. They are not America's team. The Dallas Cowboys, let me repeat that. The Dallas Cowboys are not America's team. They're America's scheme. Okay? A team with a fan base or an owner who boosts you up and gets you hype and gets your blood boiling for mediocre to below average results. That's not supposed to define America the last time I checked. That's not America's team. That is America's scheme. Okay? America's team is clearly the Patriots. Clearly the Patriots. Because they do things the Patriot way. They have a system which has kept them relevant for almost 20 years. They have arguably the greatest quarterback and coach in the history of NFL. You've got Bill Belichick, who perhaps is even better at X's and O's than Vince Lombardi. And you have Tom Brady, the golden boy. Who would not want to be Tom Brady? Married to the supermodel wife, 5 Super Bowl championships. And they cheat. Sounds like America to me. And they cheat. So so Dallas ain't America's team. They suck.
You suck.
The Patriots are. It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. Woo, boy. I hope you guys are enjoying it. We are moving right along. Right along here. So, aside from the football, because that's pretty much all we've been talking about is football. Well, NFL football. This weekend in college football, it is conference championships. Conference championships in men's college football. And the main reason why I haven't talked more college football is because Alabama is like so much better than everybody. It's like, why bother? It's like you already know what's going to happen, unless Tua gets hurt, which I don't hope that happens. But when it comes to college football, outside of teams in Virginia, I'm a Florida fan, man. I'm a Florida fan. So I'm not, the playoff system is, I guess it's good that they have it, but I'm going to say this. It gets to a point where the judges on the panel, it's like they cater. It's like they cater to, certain teams. Because let me tell you this. Okay. Oklahoma plays Texas. I don't know if that's for the conference championship or not, but the Big 12, if you want an offensive show, watch a Big 12 game because, defense is not a priority. And, it is what it is. It rears its head if they get to that position where they're in the college football playoffs. Because the SEC plays defense. The ACC plays defense. The Big 10 plays defense. The Big 12, not so much. Now, the game, of course, that everybody wants to see, because Clemson versus Pittsburgh, give me a break. mean, Pittsburgh might make it interesting for a half. I was hoping that Virginia would find their way in the ACC championship game, but, I mean, you talk about begging. Clemson's got that. Notre Dame doesn't even play they aren't even in a conference, so pretty much pencil them in. To me, the game everybody wants to see, well, it's not just to me, it's to everybody. Georgia versus Alabama for the SEC championship game. I'm going to say this right now. Right damn now. If Georgia beats Alabama, then damn it, Alabama shouldn't make the playoffs. Because you just had Ohio State kick the crap out of Michigan, who was ranked number 4 at the time, with the number 1 defense in the country. So I'm sorry, Roll Tide, ya irritating asses. If Georgia beats Alabama, then Alabama should be out. They should be out. Slide in Oklahoma in their place. I don't care. Slide in Ohio State. You know who should really be in the Final Four? UCF. They should, the team that hasn't lost the game since 2016. I don't want to hear crap about their schedule. I don't want to hear crap about who they play and who they don't play. I recognize them as the reigning, defending national champions. Yes, I said it. They went undefeated last season, while the quote-unquote national championship game was between 2 one-loss teams in Alabama and Georgia. Meanwhile, a team, Auburn, that beat both Alabama and Georgia last year, played UCF in a bowl game, and UCF beat them. So you beat the man who beat the man. So that makes me the man. So to me, UCF is the national championships. Their school recognizes them as that. I think everybody else should. I don't care what you say about their schedule. You don't lose. You don't lose. Give them a chance. They're not even giving them a chance. It's disgusting. It is downright disgusting. But again, I will, and this is what makes me mad about college football. Because if Georgia beats Alabama, you really think they're going to put Alabama out of the top 4? You really think that? Because to me, if you put Alabama out of the top 4, that makes stuff more interesting. I'm sure it will put Georgia as the favorite, even over Clemson. But that makes it way more interesting. It pisses me off the way they cater to certain teams. It really does. College football, man. College football. And on top of that, I really think that they should expand the playoffs. I don't think that would be a bad idea. They should really expand the playoffs to 8 teams. So so definitely be on the lookout Saturday for some of those college football games. Next up, I want to talk some basketball. But first, Dwight Howard. Come on, man. Dwight Howard. Bruh. Hold up. Bruh. Now listen. Oh, boy. Whatever your preference is, homeboy, go do it. Whatever makes you happy, makes you happy. But what you have to understand is when when you're at the level, the status that you're at, there's a target on your back, man. You know, if this is true and you like, playing for the Jugglers, then don't get one who's in the public eye. Because clearly, the person who came out with all this information is a sucker. You know what? That's a bad choice of words. You know, he's not cool for doing that.
You suck.
He isn't. I mean, because it's you trying to get your 15 seconds of fame by trying to ruin this man's reputation, and it could possibly ruin his career. Don't get that shit twisted, because when a league does not want or accept something that could make other players uncomfortable, they will weed you out and they will shun you. It is true in the NBA. It is true in the NFL. Okay, when Jason Collins announced that that he was gay, he was already under contract. True, but after that season, did you think he got another? Think he got to play with another team? Now, maybe he didn't want to because he was in the league a good 12, 13 years. But I ain't seen him on the court no more. Of course, we all know what happened with Michael Sam. That was the biggest load of bullshit that I have seen. Him being the defensive player of the year in the SEC, the hardest, the toughest conference in college football. You're the defensive player of the year, and you come out and say you're gay. And right before the draft, which to me was not a good business strategy move, but I mean, whatever. But you come out, you say you're gay, and then all of a sudden, you're a 7th round draft pick? A couple of draft picks from the very last draft? And you can't make an NFL roster? Even though you were getting sacks? You were rushing the quarterback in the preseason. You were proving yourself to be a more than a viable defensive lineman, but you can't make a team? I don't want to hear nothing about, where we're loaded at that position or anything else. There's a reason he wasn't on that team. So it's cut the bullshit. So that's why I don't think it's cool what the guy did who came out talking about Dwight Howard. Because people are funny, man. People are funny. I'm like, dude, we made eye contact and wilding out. And all of a sudden it was man, hey, look, bruh. Do you, bruh. But you know what? You need to keep your shit on the DL. I mean, it ain't now. But any stars that are thinking like that. And, because Dwight Howard. Hey, man, do your thing with the Wizards, bro. That's all I can say. And as far as the NBA goes, like I said, man, it's November. It's November. Golden State's getting their stuff back together. It's November. I will say this, though. Toronto, Kawhi Leonard. Everybody who thinks that Kawhi Leonard is coming to L.A. or going somewhere else after Toronto might want to pump their brakes a little bit, because he's doing his thing in Toronto. He is. He is doing his thing. But with that being said, that is all for the sports topics today. Where's that buzzer? All right. Now, it is officially Christmas time. And I mentioned something last week when I was talking about life, about, us being programmed as far as the way we think, the way we do things. I have 2 kids, I have 2 beautiful kids, and, my oldest son is looking for Santa Claus, and, I'm working, extra hours, at my job, just to give the boy what he believes in and what he has deserved, because my boy made honor roll first 9 weeks. My second grader made honor roll. I love him so much. And my daughter doesn't quite understand, but, she's just a little girl. I'm rooting for every parent out there who's working, who's going out and busting their ass, trying to make sure that their family is good, because unfortunately, we're at the time of year where it's supposed to be the most wonderful time of the year, and I really think it is if it's embraced for all the right reasons. We're at a point of the year where, you could be made to look like a monster if you don't do certain things, if you don't get certain things, if you don't follow a certain code, if you don't, get sucked in to all of the media hype and everything else that comes along with this wonderful season. And it really is a wonderful season. It really is a wonderful season. You got the cold air. It's a time to just wrap up and be around family. And, to be honest, I drew back from that for a long time, really until I had my own kids. But I had my reasons. I lost my grandmother, my mother's mother, on Christmas, way back in 2001, and I was a teenager, and it, just really gave me a bad taste in my mouth for a while. And it was really because the night before, I'm not going to get into that because I promise you I will end up getting emotional on this podcast, and I'm not trying to do all that right now. But don't let the pressures of this month that's coming up beat you down and make you feel less of yourself as a parent or as an individual. If your heart is in the right place, if you give your kids all the love in the world and all the attention they deserve, and you make sure that they have clothes on their back and food on their table and a roof over their head, then you know what? You have nothing to feel bad about if you're not able, or if you're struggling to do what it is you're quote unquote supposed to do at this time of the year. And am I one who's struggling right now? Yes, I am. And I'm not just saying that because I'm struggling. Because I'm struggling as far as, maybe wanting to get my kids everything. And my son really only wants one thing. And like I said, boy, made honor roll, he's going to get it. But I've been on both ends. I've been on the end where, I've had the extra ends, and I was able to have a awesome Christmas materialistic wise, you know what I'm saying? And I've been on the end where, I still got bills to pay, man. You know what I mean? I've been on that end too. So, like I said, embrace the time of the year for what it's really meant for, and just understand that, if you're a good parent, if you're not even just a good parent, if you're a good parent, if you're a good husband, you're a good wife, you're a good grandparent, grandchild, if you're a good aunt, uncle, good best friend, good cousin, whatever, then people should know what's really in your heart. I don't look for things for Christmas because I don't care. It's not about me. It's about the rest of my family. It's not about me. That's one thing you know that when you're a man. That's one thing you know that when you're a man and you have a family, it ain't about you. There should be some times where it should be, but it just ain't. It's not. Especially if you work. If you work every week. They're looking at you, man. They're turning around looking at you. It's so like, so it's kind of not fair. It is fair, but it's not fair because a man should be a provider. But it's not fair because a lot of times, unfortunately, we get taken for granted because it's what we're supposed to do. But I tell you what. If you're a good wife, then let and show your husband, your fiance, your boyfriend, whatever, let them know what you mean and how much you mean to them. And not just over a 5-second period. I love you so much, baby. I love you. You're so good to me. All right, back to what I'm doing. Man, fuck all that. Let them know. Show them. So, what I usually do around this time of year is I usually sing. I usually go on Facebook Live and I start singing songs. So I'm actually gonna go on Facebook Live now. I'm gonna go on Facebook Live now. I'm gonna sing you guys something. Trust and believe. If I don't like it, I am gonna edit this shit. I'm gonna sing a little Christmas carol. I've been talking a lot, so my voice might not be where I needed to be at, but let's do this. Let's do this, and let's do this now. So, thank you for rocking with me. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Thank you, Facebook Live watchers, for listening. Thank you, Sports Plus Life listeners, for tuning in. It's your boy, Brandon Brevon Towns. I gotta go. I will holler at you guys tomorrow. I'm out.